going to be reacting to JasonTheWeen was just a character at first. Golf cart, does the W1C, did the W Faze one, W Lacy one. We're going to lock in, see that W. Jason. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
JasonTheWeen isn't
Here we
one
go,
person, at least not in the way you think.
Suck
Everything
in.
Jason does plays into a bigger performance, a career built on turning himself into different characters online. Sometimes he's a cringy TikToker, others he's an IRL streamer or a musical artist. It feels like every few months, he's onto an entirely new thing. And yet, every time he changes character, the crowd gets bigger. But what if I told you none of it happened by accident? The cringe, the characters, the constant reinventions, all of it was a part of a plan. In truth, it was never about the views or fame. Jason was chasing something else.
I gotta be successful quick so that he can live a happier life, and I've never told him that.
For JasonTheWeen, the American dream smelled a lot like acetone. It was the life his parents, immigrants from Vietnam, painstakingly built inside a small nail salon in Fort Worth, Texas. Jason spent plenty of afternoons there, doing homework on the counter with the buzz of nail drills in the background. He was a quiet kid, the kind that got straight A's, won spelling bees, and never really caused any trouble. From elementary school through high school, he mostly flew under the radar. But he couldn't ignore what he saw at home. His parents were older than everyone else's. They never took a day off, and every dollar they earned came from hunching over a manicure table. Somewhere along the way, he made himself a promise. Retire them. Get mom and dad out of that salon for good. The only problem was he was 15. No license, no job, no way to make real money. Then 2019 rolled around, and a new kind of gold rush showed up on his phone. It started when a company called ByteDance bought this massive but relatively dead app called Musical.ly. They gutted it, rebranded it, and TikTok was released. The app as a whole...
That was like, I remember like, I remember Musical.ly. And then like, I remember when the transformation to TikTok that shit, and it's just like, I'm so silly, or like I thought it was silly, or like whatever. Ignored it almost, that's stupid. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like such a big thing, and I post videos there every single day. Not every day, but through a few times a week, you know what I'm saying? Post all my content there. So it's kind of like I would say, big part of my streaming at least shit. You know what I'm saying?
Work differently than any other social
Not
platform.
really
Videos are meant to be short, less than a minute.
Oh, come on, I hate when I do that. Wait.
Old fan, let's.
JasonTheWeen is...
Oh god, I hate that, brother. Oh wait. Yeah, I think we're at this part.
TikTok dances in her bedroom with zero followers to just a few months later moving to LA, starring in Hulu shows, Super Bowl commercials, signing multi-million-dollar deals with Dunkin', Hollister, and Morphe Cosmetics. And Jason thought, well, why not me? But here's the thing, social media algorithms feed on flair. They boost the stuff that grabs your attention, creates urgency, stirs FOMO. And honestly, Jason didn't have that kind of personality. There wasn't much about him that really created conversations. So what does he do? Well,
at Wawa,
bro, what are we on here?
For your moment.
Okay. Okay. Oh my god, it's gonna be over by the time I can skip it.
now this kind of seems a lot more like an Internet 101 video than a JasonTheWeen documentary at this point. But pay attention because this all ties in here in a minute. You see, those cringy, over-the-top personalities online aren't anything new. Actually, it goes all the way back to 2009, to iCarly.
Hey, it's Fred. I'm gonna be
iCarly, baby.
Fred is really one of the OGs of this. It's this annoying, polarizing, eccentric character, which love it or hate it, it stops your scroll. For whatever reason, it makes people comment, share, and talk about it. And we've seen this same strategy a million times since Fred. From Neon to I Show Speed, it's a tried and true way to rack up some views on social media. And Jason weaponized this, creating some of the most hard-to-watch, nails on a chalkboard type videos. It didn't really take too long before these TikToks were pulling in millions of views, and Jason was growing an actual audience. And with a few viral videos and a snowballing fan base came the sponsors.
Oh, I'm eating plant-based nuggets. You will?
For about a year or so, Jason kept up with this, creating cringy videos, trolling online, and for a while, it was great. But then two problems hit. First, his TikTok accounts kept getting banned. No warnings, no appeals. One day he'd have hundreds of thousands of followers, the next, gone. Deleted like they never existed.
I'd be
TikTok,
pissed.
what's going on?
Second, even with the views, the money just wasn't there. TikTok was still too new. Brands weren't shelling out fat checks for sponsored posts yet. So after graduating high school, in that summer limbo before college started, Jason made a decision. If he wanted real money, like retire your parents' money, he had to pivot to a new platform, Twitch.
Yeah.
Now, growing on Twitch, that's a
We
different
love that
beast. It's not
Twitch.
like TikTok where one lucky post can shoot you into the algorithmic stratosphere. Twitch is slow, brutal, and unforgiving. And in my opinion, it's probably the hardest platform to build an audience on, which is exactly why Jason had to get strategic. He'd been casually
He
streaming
had
since he
to.
was 14. Nothing serious, just testing out the waters. But in August of 2022, he made the call, fully
Yeah,
committing his
TikTok.
sights on streaming. And in his very first month, he averaged 71 viewers per stream.
Yeah,
For Twitch,
That's
an incredible
insane. Every like screamer that's popular that I see, like they talk about like when they first streamed, they're like, my first everyone I swear talks about how their first stream they had like 70 plus viewers and my brothers no way. Not no way, but I did not have that same experience.
promising start. But here's where Jason's strategy kicks in. You see,
Definitely
Jason
not.
had an audience on TikTok, 1 million followers to be exact,
That's
and he
not
began the
impressive.
slow and steady process of
Okay.
converting those
I
followers
suck.
from TikTok to Twitch. Over the next month, he would stream Valorant gameplay, but instead of keeping it one-dimensional, he got a bit creative. There was this website called ePal, where you could essentially pay girls to play video games with you. Weird. Yes, I know. But that was a part of the character, the bit that Jason played.
Nah, my pants! My pants!
He brought the same TikTok persona into these streams, awkward and always towing the line between cringe and comedy. He would try to rizz the girls up mid-game, leading to some of the most painfully uncomfortable moments imaginable. But
That was
the point.
insane, that
Jason
one
wasn't
clip.
just streaming to entertain
You guys know.
viewers, he was streaming for clips. After each stream, he'd post dozens of these videos to TikTok, and the views continued to snowball. Then the next time he'd start up a stream, he'd also go live on TikTok for the first hour or so. Then end the TikTok live and tell his followers if they wanted to keep watching, to come over to Twitch. The brilliance of this two-step approach paid off, because by October of that same year, he was averaging over 1,000 viewers per stream and had nearly 25,000 followers on Twitch. From there, Jason
Disgusting.
only hit the gas. He began
Disgusting.
collaborating with bigger streamers like Prod, Sneeko, and Shanks. He began evolving his content to audiences broader than Valorant. He started hosting
That
e-dates and
growth
added in
groups were
IRL
like way
segments.
out.
But as 2022
Like-
came to an end and 2023 wrapped the corner, an entirely new shift to Jason's online presence came into the picture.
Every time I talk to you, my mind goes blank because you're just so beautiful, and I'm just like, I can't really think straight, you know what I mean?
Jason first met Eugen during what should have been just another e-dating stream. Something about her was different. The flirting and chemistry came naturally.
Bro,
and
them
before long,
lips
their
though,
on-screen
bro, them
chemistry carried over
lips.
into real life.
I
They
like
began
them
dating,
lips,
and for
brother.
Jason, this was his first genuine relationship, and soon his audience was just invested in them as they were in him. These days, broadcasting your relationship online is almost like a growth hack, another way to hook viewers. But for Jason, it didn't work that way, because over the next year, his viewership actually became stagnant, hardly growing over the course of a year.
Damn.
So why am I mentioning this? Well, because in those moments with Eugen, at times the mask began to slip. Maybe he was just
Oh no! Why does this always happen to me?
Discover Tucker's
Fuck!
Cove
I don't
at
even know what I'm
Range,
doing
the
anymore.
ultimate place to live and
This
play.
reaction turned into
The only
hell.
wa-
Hollywood has decided that their next
Oh, okay. You know what?
JasonTheWeen isn't one person.
Oh, okay. We already heard this like 12 fucking times. I can't fucking just watch it because my controller falls or I accidentally cooked something. For some reason it goes back. Let's go.
He'd also go live on Jason. This was his first genuine relationship, and soon his audience was just invested in them as they were in
Maybe I
him.
can put
These
this
days,
here.
broadcasting your relationship online is almost like a growth hack, another way to hook viewers. But for Jason, it didn't work that way, because over the next year, his viewership actually became stagnant, hardly growing over the course of a year. So why am I mentioning this? Well,
We
because
don't know.
in those
You're
moments
gonna
with
tell us,
Eugen,
though.
at times the mask began to slip. Maybe he was just comfortable in the relationship, or was finally starting to feel comfortable in front of a camera. But viewers were beginning to see the more genuine side of Jason, especially during the breakup. Over time, having their relationship play out in front of thousands started to weigh on them. Jason's content still revolved around flirting with e-girls, and for Eugen, that was hard to ignore. Eventually, both decided to step away from the relationship, marking the end of a chapter that quietly reshaped how Jason came across to his audience. It's funny how life works, how sometimes what feels like a new low can be the exact moment you're on the brink of something higher. Over the next few months, Jason took every successful element from his streams and dialed it up to the max. He brought his Discord e-dates into the real world, traveling from state to state to host in-person dates with different girls. Sa, Selena, and Alyssa all became recurring personalities, and fans were quick to dub this era of content the Bop Arc. During this period, Jason's channel exploded in popularity. Just a month after his breakup, his average viewership nearly doubled, soaring from 2,700 to 5,300 viewers in what felt like a blink of an eye. And the growth didn't stop there. Stream after stream, the numbers kept climbing. While attending college full-time,
Damn,
he was
isn't that
streaming
close
average
though?
160 hours a
Scared
month,
me, not
pushing his
gonna lie.
momentum farther than ever before.
He's a good guy. He's a
But
great
just
guy. He's a
beyond
great
that
guy.
wave of success was something
Never
even
met.
bigger. An opportunity that would take everything Jason had built and launch it into another universe. He was going to join Faze Clan.
Shit, do you have to manhandle me, bro? Holy shit. Man, what do I even do?
Spitballs, pranks, disruptive outbursts. Mogging? Normally, under these circumstances, you would be expelled immediately. But your father has given a very generous donation to the university.
My father?
Now, a little backstory. For those who don't know, Faze Clan can be credited with
His
pioneering
daddy
what you see on
bangs.
social media today. What started as a small group of gamers making YouTube trick shot videos turned into something entirely new. Eventually, the group bought a house in New York and all moved in together, arguably creating the first content house the internet had ever seen. From there, things snowballed. By 2018, Faze had stepped far beyond gaming. Their roster, icons like Faze, Temper, and Apex were everywhere. They landed huge brand deals, made the cover of Sports Illustrated, and even IPO'd at a $1 billion valuation. But then the empire cracked. Now, we've got a video up on our channel that breaks down exactly how and why everything fell apart, but here's the short version. The founders had their equity diluted, corporate overvalued the company, put the wrong focus in the wrong places, the content went stale, fans stopped caring, and eventually Faze went bankrupt. The founders managed to buy the brand back, and in early 2024,
this is his fast summary of the last video.
Clean. Almost every single talent was dropped and a fresh roster was announced. For OG fans who'd been watching for years, the bar for the new Faze wasn't just high, it was astronomical. One by one, names
he's not even in it anymore.
Veterans and some complete newcomers. And on that short list, nestled among a handful of new recruits, was JasonTheWeen. Truth be told, no one believed in the new group. For most fans, this felt like just another lazy, corporate-driven sellout. Exactly the kind of hollow move that had sunk Faze in the first place.
What the f?
I remember that. Fuck me in the butt, bro. I'm tired of these ads, yo. Wait. I feel like my phone did something. I'm tired of these ads, gang. I'm tired of these ads, gang. I know the game is looks cool, but we're not gonna even care. You know why? Because we got some reactions to do. Oh, my dick in the butt. Okay. Xbox.
Who the f are these people?
However, almost everyone was completely wrong about the new roster. Within weeks, public opinion began.
I didn't really say
Groups of
anything
new faces
negative.
started flooding TikTok, from trips to Tokyo to month-long subathons, and a steady stream of content both as a group and as individual creators. The momentum was undeniable.
That big lazy, bro! Oh!
Jason, in particular, was breaking into a whole new tier of mainstream success. In the closing hours of the month-long subathon, he hit 100,000 active Twitch subscribers, overtaking streaming heavyweights like Kaisenat and Jinxie, making him the #2 most subscribed to Twitch streamer in the world. Jason went on to close out the year strong.
my
His
man,
average viewership with
my main man.
15,000 viewers per stream,
Jackie, no, I don't know.
174% increase from the start of the year. He closed in on 1 million followers on Twitch and even won the 2024 Breakout Streamer of the Year award.
6 months ago, I finally dropped out of school to pursue streaming.
To pursue streaming? Wait, is it streaming?
Breakout Streamer of the Year, let's go!
You sure that kid, motherfucker? Someone say get out. Get out!
The guy who will pull the most over-the-top stunts to rizz up girls, purely to send his chat into chaos.
This feet shit needs to stop, bro. Get these feet off my...
Take Fred, for example. At first, the high-pitched, squeaky voice and hyper-edited ADHD-style videos were hilarious. People couldn't get enough and it shot him into the spot.
I know that. I didn't do it, but I don't because I didn't see anybody there.
Predictable, and eventually his audience moved on. At some point, Jason realized
Some will
this
get it,
and
some
decided to
won't.
make a few changes.
But yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but the girl content has been slowing down.
Wait, why is the girl content slowing down?
Because, you know, I've realized.
Jason, girl content? Not happening? I'm not subbing anymore.
Wait, so you're quitting girl content? I'm not quitting, I'm just slowing down. I just feel like, you know, it's time to evolve.
Heading into 2025, Jason started taking off the mask. Instead of chasing whatever performance would go viral or playing solely to what the chat demanded, he began building streams around what he genuinely wanted to do. The exaggerated persona took a backseat, and his natural self started to come through on stream.
Who's your favorite Asian YouTuber? Just say it, bro. Rage.
Niga Higa. I didn't say it, that's his name! That's his name!
With the mask coming off,
That's his name! That's his name!
Became the stage. In South Korea, he met New Jeans, one of the biggest K-pop girl groups on the planet.
Motherfucker's funny, motherfucker's funny! My bag is
From there, he
money.
took his journey to England, where things truly snowballed. Within days of landing, Jason was filming with some of the UK's biggest creators, Angry Ginge, Deji, and George Clarkey, before stepping in front of a camera for a Sidemen 20v1 video.
Wingardium Pregnoto.
What the fuck?
You feel that?
For any creator, being
He
featured in a
said, "You
Sidemen
feel
video is a
that?"
huge milestone. But the
I'm
momentum didn't stop there.
crying,
Just
my-
before the shoot, news
in
had
my
broken that he
leather
joined the cast
Louis
of Inside,
Vuitton
a Netflix
boots,
reality
brother.
series created by the Sidemen themselves. And then came the moment that would put him in front of one of the largest audiences of his career, the Sidemen charity match. All 9,000 seats at
Yo.
Wembley sold out. Over 2.7 million tuned in live. The roster included titans like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, iShowSpeed, and Kai Cenat. And for the first time, Jason wasn't the weird kid trying to make a name for himself on social media. He was one of them. He was now a part of the club he once watched from the outside. He had the numbers, the clout, the collaborations, Wembley Stadium crowds, Netflix credits, his name alongside the biggest creators on the planet. But none of that was the finish line. Because long before the Twitch records, Faze Clan, and charity matches, this all started in a small Texas suburb, with a quiet kid who promised himself one thing: retire mom and dad.
Yeah.
My dad sacrificed a lot. My mom sacrificed a lot. Cause I think my dad was always telling me that if he stayed in Vietnam, he could have been like super rich, cause he had like businesses out there. But he moved there because, you know, he wanted to start a family with my mom and with me. So he kind of put everything onto me. And sometimes I would feel like I need to be successful due to, you know, all my parents' sacrifices.
You see, success and sacrifices are like two faces on the same coin,
Well-
inseparable, each defining the other. One side shapes you into someone capable of winning, while the other validates every hard choice you've made to get there. Think of just about any successful person, not the rare one-hit wonder, but the ones who've truly built something lasting. All of them have paid a steep price, a big chunk of their life traded away in exchange for a shot at the position they're in today. For Jason, sacrifices worn many
That is
faces over the
crazy.
years, and since middle
Think
school,
about
it's
it, you know what I'm
often come
saying?
in
Really
the
think
form of
about shit like
relationships.
that.
Honestly, in middle school, they used to call me Chino because I was surrounded by a lot of Mexicans.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of Asians in my school, so I'd have to, you know, I guess adapt or
Okay.
learn new cultures. So that was also a struggle. Like sometimes I would be scared to speak Vietnamese on the phone because some kids, I knew they would make fun of me, things like that. But in middle school, I'd be like self-conscious.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd sometimes want to be like, I guess not want to be a different race, but like, dress. I'd dress a certain way. I'd do my hair a certain way. Things like that.
And you mentioned that your dad had like left behind a lot of stuff to come here. Were you born there or born here?
Born here.
And you mentioned that like there was some amount of like pressure that you were feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the sense of you of like the clock is kind of ticking. I'm also getting the sense that your parents like sacrificed and you're like an only child. So it's kind of like, you know, you get one shot, right? And so kind of like it
One
has to
shot,
count.
brother.
Like everything's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So when you tell your parents, like, let's say, like, I'm gonna pretend to be you for a second, okay? Let's do a little bit of role play. You okay with that? Hey, mom, dad.
Little role play
I'm
mid-screen,
concerned
brother.
That y'all are getting a little bit older, and I'd love to spend more time with y'all before, you know, it kind of gets too late. Like, I know that y'all made a lot of sacrifices for me, and I'm grateful for that. I feel like grateful and indebted to you, and you guys have done so much for me, and like I want to give that back, and I'm afraid that I'm running out of time to be able to give that back. So I feel like this immense pressure to be like really successful like today, because I don't have a whole lot of time to tell you how grateful I am.
Yeah, I pretend to be my dad.
Yeah, what's it like to hear that, first of all?
I feel really emotional. Feel like, damn, I should tell him that. I want him to know that this is why I'm doing this.
Since blowing up over the past couple of years, he kept that promise in motion. He's bought his parents new cars, surprised them with $10,000, and is now on the path to fully retiring them. For Jason, making content is about giving back to the people who've been in his corner since the start.
Worked his
Not
fucking
personal
ass
success or
off,
stroke
brother.
his own ego. Last year, he became Twitch's #1 most subscribed Asian creator, but instead of keeping the spotlight all to himself, he used his platform to highlight other Asian creators and musicians.
I need water.
JasonTheWeen has taken his next level. He's putting a lot of Asian people on for real.
That's
In
what
doing so, he's become more than just a streamer. He's become someone Asian kids growing up in America can look up to, someone who proved you can be yourself and still win. And he's done it without bending to the old pressure to fit in. The very things he once tried to hide are now the things he stands out for. Jason's only 21, but his story's already proof enough.
Damn, well,
in the end, every sacrifice, every late night, every hard choice was worth it.
Yeah, that's W video. W golf cart.